Yo, Tesla has just reported earnings. I just got off the conference call. The stock right now is up about 10%, more than 10% after hours. I bought some stock heading into the earnings. I bought some stock just after the earnings were reported, right around here after hours at 155 a share. So much to unpack here. This Tesla earnings was extremely just a fascinating quarter. Deliveries were down. All speculation was, is Tesla still going to be able to make money? What's the outlook of the company? Huge bets on full self-driving in the works. So much to unpack here. I'm going to go through the financial results. Then we're going to get into the conference call, notes itself, and more thoughts about the business. I mean, at a high level, I am more bullish and stoked on Tesla than ever. They put out this Q1 update. I started freaking out and immediately saw this thing that caught my eye: 1.2 billion in GAAP operating income. So Tesla, a weaker Q1 than expected, with just the overall electric vehicle market and the vehicle market not doing well. Then you had a bunch of one-time issues: ramping Model 3, ramping Cybertruck, an arson attack at the factory, the war in the Middle East. Even despite in Q1 being a seasonally weak quarter, despite all of that, I actually thought there was a chance Tesla reported a loss. They still did $1.2 billion in profit, free cash flow from the core business, profitable at $0.2 billion or $250 million or so. Overall free cash flow, negative $2.5 billion, as they were making huge investments in AI infrastructure CapEx alone, $1 billion. So that's what you're looking at from the cash flow perspective. But so many vehicles in inventory that I think. And another little discrepancy with the cash flow is they recognized FSD revenue, so they got a lot of cash up front for FSD, started to recognize that. That's hitting the GAAP operating income. But the point is, Tesla has reported its 19th quarter in a row, 19 quarters in a row of GAAP profitability for Tesla. So this is the company that nobody thought could ever make money. Now they still have $25 billion plus in cash on the balance sheet. They've been profitable for 19 quarters in a row. Tesla proving that even in the crappy parts of the automotive cycle, they are still able to post positive and really strong financial results. So this is just a testament to how lean, how efficient, how world-class Tesla is in terms of operational ability. To watch them put up a profit here, I was extremely surprised by these numbers, and I said, wow, if Tesla can make money with everything going as shitty as it is right now, then just wait till things get better. Wait till Cybertruck ramps. Wait till people realize how cheap and awesome the Model 3 is. Wait till that production ramps. Wait till oh my God, the conference call was even better. So the results were amazing here. Lots of awesome stuff. I just want to dive into the numbers here on mainstreetdata.com. You can use my link below if you want to get a referral code on this, but awesome website to check the financials. So, here we go. Main Street Data. So, as you can see, Tesla's revenue was down. We knew that basically this is what was happening heading into the quarter. We knew the deliveries were weaker. We knew it was the weakest deliveries in about 4 quarters, year-over-year decline. So we were expecting the revenue to be a little lower. The revenue coming in at about $21.3 billion, so still about an $85 billion run rate for Tesla as a business, trading for right about 5 times current sales with the $461 billion market cap. So that's why I'm super bullish, because I think sales are about to start booming from here. I think profits are about to start booming. The price-sales multiple should expand, if anything. Gross profit was down as well. This was the lowest, $3.7 billion since Q3 2021, but they still made it work. So still $3.7 billion in gross profit, and we'll see that the energy and service business are a big, lots of exciting stuff going on there. But the true hallmark of Tesla's business, the real number that it boils down to every quarter: how much guap you make, what is your profit? $1.17 billion. So, if you scroll back to 10 years ago when Tesla was, losing money every single quarter, barely starts making money. When they started making money, they were only making a few $100 million a quarter. Now they're making over $1 billion a quarter in profit, and this is their crappy, shitty quarter. So it shows you just how far the company has come. So lots of great stuff there. Now let's dive into the KPIs a little bit more here in the quarter. So energy storage deploy, record high. This is going to be lumpy as it takes time for these projects to deploy. This number has been booming, and they actually guided on the conference call for huge growth to continue. More on that later. Solar, pretty weak and non-existent here. Supercharger stations continue to ramp. The real thing I want to get to, though, is revenue by segment. We'll start here so you can see that the blue, Tesla's auto business, was the main part of the company. But now over time, we've seen the services and energy creep up to be a bigger and bigger piece revenue, to be about 10, 15, or 20% of the actual revenue of Tesla's, not from cars now. And what's even more fascinating is the gross profit per segment. Now about 20% of Tesla's gross profit coming from other businesses as well. And this isn't just me following this chart and being obsessed with it. If you go to the Tesla shareholder letter, they've also been showing about how non-automotive gross profit is growing, and they are expecting consistent profit growth of our non-automotive business. So that is extremely exciting. They also mentioned the supercharger thing, which is something that's been on my radar here. About how at the end of February, they began to open up the supercharger network to more non-Tesla EV owners, Rivian, Ford, and they think that is going to drive incremental revenue and profit generation. You think about, Exxon, Shell, all these companies in the gas car ecosystem that are generating billions in profits just being gas stations. Well, Tesla doesn't just make the cars, they actually own the gas stations with their supercharger network. So that's going to be a big, and it's not just Teslas that use it. So that's going to be a really interesting way to sort of diversify these cyclical profits in auto with a booming, scaling, steady business of growing supercharger and growing energy business. So everything is coming to fruition, diversified profit stream, so much excitement. One of the most interesting tidbits on the shareholder letter here was that the company is in between two major growth waves. First was the global expansion of 3 and Y. The next one is autonomy and introduction of new products on the next generation vehicle platform. So they did say that this year growth is expected to be lower than last year, but they do still think they'll grow, which they clarified on the conference call. So that's really good. In energy generation and storage is going to outpace automotive business. But the other thing here that was very interesting, I want to... Oh, this is a very good tidbit. Our purpose-built Robotaxi product will continue to pursue a revolutionary unboxed manufacturing strategy. So I don't know what that means, but that's very interesting. The other part that was kind of caught people by surprise, and to be honest, there's more question than answers. What is this Robotaxi event on 8-8? Is there a $25,000 Tesla? Is it just the Cybercab, which is this new word Elon mentioned? I don't know. But basically, they are saying we have updated our future vehicle lineup to accelerate the launch of new models ahead of our previously communicated start of production in the second half of 2025. So newer, cheaper models are ahead of schedule in late 2020. So it's going to be earlier than that, which they clarified on the call. These new, more affordable vehicles utilize aspects of the next generation platform, but they're basically going kind of half-assed and not rebuilding production lines, adjusting their current production lines to build these new vehicle products. That's going to get them to capacity of 3 million vehicles a year, enabling more than 50% growth without investing in new manufacturing lines. So very capital efficient. Basically, Tesla can get to 3 million units a year, almost 100% growth from where we are right now in Q1 before adding new capacity, and can introduce the Robotaxi. So what does this mean? This cheaper Robotaxi car is coming to market wicked quick. More on that in the earnings call, which we're going to get to here. I will actually post these notes, which I just frantically type up as I'm listening to the earnings call while I make a video, but I'll post them in the YouTube description so you can get more of a flavor about it. But Elon Musk starts the call, opening it up. Classic move there. And I'm just going to go through the conference call now, just so you know where my flow is. Throwing a ton at you. I'm going to throw a ton more at you. And then at the end, I'll kind of chill out and give you my full take on the whole quarter. So we'll sit break. Take one with me. Okay. So there was a few challenges in the Q1 quarter that impacted Tesla's ability to grow, deliver cars, crush their numbers. Model 3 ramp, they're introducing a new vehicle there, big changes on the production line, bunch of companies pulling back on EVs, which is a very interesting and kind of disappointing trend. I believe they actually had a chart of that here in their shareholder letter of the global battery electric vehicle market share. So kind of slowing down, which is interesting, not as exponential takeoff. So I think that's just a lull, but that is a very interesting trend. Energy business booming, not only just revenue, but profits at an all-time high, increasing significantly faster than the car business this year. In terms of AI, training capacity more than doubled sequentially. New product roadmap is going crazy. Updated vehicle lineup to accelerate the launch of new vehicles. Like I was saying earlier, 2025. We are going to get a new vehicle from Tesla, if not late this year. So I think this is the Cybercab is coming early 2025, if not late this year. Same manufacturing lines, no new factory, way more efficient on that same line. Capacity going to 3 million cars a year. It's kind of what I just said, but Elon reiterated it on the call. And the things that he says on the call in his opening remarks are pre-planned, interesting to follow. Lots of breadcrumbs there. FSD V12, it's been the talk of the town. The pure AI-based self-driving. He says everyone needs to experience it. He was harping on that at the call. The rate of improvement's insane. They pushed it out to 1.8 million cars. 50% of people are trying it. 300 million miles to FSD V12. Dropping the price to $99 a month or 8 Gs overall. There is a purpose-built Robotaxi and Cybercab in the works. He said the word Cybercab. We've never heard this before. Huge deal. Extremely exciting stuff. They installed 35,000 H100 computers, so a ton of compute capacity, not compute limited, and they're very excited of the autonomy roadmap. Not that much time before it's more reliable than a human to drive a robotaxi. So, and they say not like it's just a matter of time and not that much time before Tesla's seeing the data that shows its self-driving cars are much safer than humans. Then we got the CFO. I'm still getting used to him. He's no Zach. I got to be honest. I really miss Zach. He was an insane communicator. But new CFO gave us a couple tidbits. Margins are very strong, excluding like Cybertruck, the Model 3 ramp, and I think the auto park revenue adjustment. He was trying to say like real. Like just hardware gross margins are actually stabilizing or up slightly when you adjusted for everything. So they're trying to tell you that they're basically, when they do a price drop, they're basically adding, like, they reduce their costs, pass those savings on to the consumer, maintain those margins, if not increase them slightly. Model 3 leasing for $299 a month, which is an insanely good deal. Insanely good deal. And so they just need to get the word out on that. Energy gross margins, 25% record. And then he guides for 75% growth in the energy storage business this year. So that means we could see even more contribution in terms of gross profit, already at like $500 million a quarter, which I was showing you from energy and services alone. Now this is going to accelerate even more. So the energy business is becoming a really big deal. Could be $1 billion in incremental gross profit a quarter soon. Operating expenses going up with AI, negative cash flow of 2.5B with heavy CapEx spent in the inventory issue. Cash flow is going to go positive again soon. 10% layoffs, adding $1 billion in efficiency, in cost efficiency or cost savings. Okay, now we got the analyst Q&A, or the Say Q&A. So retail investors, shareholders, shout out to Say. If y'all know the history of the Say platform, a little HyperChange partnership, the viewers of this channel manifesting this website that Tesla uses to take shareholder questions, and they still use it 6 years later. So, I mean, I can't. This is shareholder democracy at work. I love it. It's still ahead of the analysts. Like, come on, love that. 4680, reaching 1,000 a week ramp for Cybertruck. So the Cybertruck, they're building like 1,000 a week of the Cybertruck, which is awesome and ramping. Costs are dropping steadily, but now they're building enough batteries, and that's not even the limiting factor. There was a question about Optimus. When is it going to be doing tasks in the factory? And they basically said that it's doing factory tasks in the lab, and Optimus could be in limited production in the factory, or doing work in the factory, useful stuff, before the end of the year. Could sell it by the end of next year. More valuable than anything else combined. Elon Musk has his quotes about how this is going to change the global economy. And then this point was very interesting about Tesla's AI inference. Essentially, because they have to be so energy efficient when it comes to the car and making sure, you got to figure out how to run that whole AI that drives itself on the car. You're limited by inference, by data, by energy efficiency, by amount of compute. So Tesla's basically figured out how to make AI extremely efficient and run computations very efficiently. They are like, that's going to pay dividends in huge ways when it comes to the robot. Elon wanted to hammer that home, so that's worth noting. FSD regulatory approvals. They're basically saying a handful of states have already put out the framework for how to do this. Those are the states they're going to work in first. Elon Musk goes on a little rant about elevators and how they used to have operators. And we're going to have the same thing with cars, where it's just going to seem crazy that you wouldn't just automatically get in a car and go. Like, it'll seem crazy that humans are driving. And I actually just took my mom out. Shout out to my mom, who's awesome. And I leased her a Model 3. She loves it. She got the FSD trial, so I make her like try FSD. It didn't go over that well. She's like 60, and she just isn't. I'm going to keep working on it, but she get used to it the first try. She was like, what's happening? Like, she couldn't even, it was too mind blowing. But I was like, Mom, humans are never going to drive. Like, my children are never going to drive. This is like so exciting. And anyway, so I thought it was kind of crazy that even on my mom's car, they had FSD. And Tesla basically is gearing up to launch its own Uber and Airbnb-like service, combo of Uber and Airbnb. This was such fascinating info on the Robotaxi service, or that they're planning on launching. First of all, this was the biggest news in the whole thing. I don't know why I didn't get to this, but they have a screenshot of their ride-hailing app. Tesla is launching a ride-hailing app. They are going to compete with Uber. Look at this. This is huge news. This is insane. This is the biggest transformation in Tesla's business model in years. Anyway, I'm gonna take a sip and just let y'all bask in the game changer. And I actually tried a version of this app on Autonomy Day in 2019. Shout out to Jay Filchi and Maddie Mogul. I actually took, fun fact, in Ross Gruber making big waves in the Tesla community. I took my first Tesla Robotaxi ride with Ross Gruber on 2019 Autonomy Day. It was the first ever ride Tesla gave to investors. We were in the first car, and Ross Gruber will not shut up and let the Tesla guy talk. And so it would just kind of ruin the experience. But anyway, it's a funny story looking back. But they use the app like this to summon this car. So this has been in the works forever. Now they're ready to take it mainstream. This is an absolute game changer. Elon Musk giving us more clues about that on the conference call. They're going to operate it like a fleet. Tesla will own and operate some vehicles. The end user will some. You can opt in to putting your car in the fleet. You can only let your fam do it. You can only let 5-star riders use it. And then eventually, potential to be an AWS-like business for Tesla, because basically you have all this compute that if it's not driving the car, you could use all this compute that's on the vehicle to do something else. So Tesla has all this extra AI firepower essentially to use that people could rent out. And that's kind of how AWS started. Is Amazon had all this excess server capacity they didn't need year-round, so they could rent it out, and then they started making money, and now it's the most profitable part of Amazon's business. So Elon is basically saying we're going to have insanely powerful and efficient inference. We have all these cars who have excess compute, huge opportunity there. So love the potential and not giving up on that. They also make ramblings about how there's going to be 10 millions of cars on the road by the end of the decade that are Teslas, just to show you how much production they want to hit. All of them Robotaxi available. Cybertruck ramps. I thought this was a funny little stat. They've hit 1,000 a week production capacity, kind of like in a burst rate. Only 4 to 5 months since the SOP started production. I don't know. It's insane how quick Tesla moves. It just seems slow because everyone watches it so closely. But costs are dropping. Lots of challenges. Full focus this year is on ramp. I wouldn't expect Cybertruck to be making big money till next year. This is one of the biggest news to drop on the conference call. They are in talks with the legacy automaker to license full self-driving. That is huge news because it would just basically be huge excess profit for Tesla. It would all be excess margin for Tesla if they can license their full self-driving software. 100% to the bottom line. Massive increase to earnings. Could be billions of dollars. If this actually comes to fruition, I think people are going to be stoked. I think that's one of the reasons the stock has been booming. Now it's going up even more, 161 as I'm recording this. The Tesla Semi is coming out, which I thought is so awesome. Yes, it's going to take a while. They did this picture here is the start of the factory. Soak that in. And I know the haters are saying, it's taken forever. It is, but this is such a hard product to get right. They're testing with 100 trucks from Pepsi. They're going to start production in 2025, customer deliveries in 2026, happening in Reno. So big moves are being made. And this is, although it seems slow and although it seems always delayed, I mean, this is a big moment. They're like, look how much land we're about to build. This is going to get off the ground in a big way. I am not giving up on the Tesla Semi. I think it's going to be an absolute game changer once they actually bring this to market. But these amazing products take time. Analyst Q&A, always worse than the retail shareholders, but there were some tidbits there. It's funny because Sacconaghi Bernstein, who I think is one of the analysts that Elon really doesn't like, I don't really like him either, but basically is talking about like all these questions about the new model and this and that. And Elon Musk is like, we've already said what we're going to say. They ask him about whether he's working on Tesla. Elon says he's pretty much spends most of his working hours at Tesla, or the majority. He thinks they're going to be very prosperous with or without him, and he never takes a Sunday afternoon off pretty much, which, I mean, damn, the guy works so hard. Elon, I mean, on behalf of all of us, we think you've earned vacation, bro. I know you don't want to take one, but I'm just saying we think you earned one. Adam Jonas, really fancy question on like, so you're expecting growth to be lower this year, but is it going to be lower than 0? And Elon basically says, we think we can have higher sales this year than next year, which is huge because year over year was down in Q1, which means they're going to make it up in the back half of the year, which means Tesla's putting out huge profits in the back half of the year. If Tesla actually comes through on this and grows deliveries even 2% this year, we're talking big profits, 5 to 10B, more than I was expecting. Then some ramblings here that I didn't think were super important. Basically how they're going all in on autonomy. It's not about how fast the Chinese OEMs can copy the 300-mile car. Elon Musk, then Piper Sandler, Alex Potter asked about the 25% control thing, which is a big deal for us Tesla shareholders. And Elon Musk has a strong answer here saying, no matter what, even if I got kidnapped by aliens, we're going to solve autonomy. Might be a little slower, but we're still going to solve it. The one thing is with Optimus, there's Terminator level risk. Too much power. Elon wants to have control of it. I don't blame him. I think Elon should have more than, I will go on the record by saying this. I think Elon needs to have more than 25% control of Tesla. He's the reason I'm invested. We need to approve the vote. I'm going to talk more about that heading into the vote. We need to vote to give Elon the shares that he was earning the pay package that this bullshit Delaware court case overturned. Give him the stock back. Incentivize him to take Tesla to 10 trillion with Optimus, because basically what he's saying is FSD is going to happen with or without me, without any new stock, which is amazing. Love Elon. He's doing the right thing. We appreciate you, bro. But also, there's a sleeve, a card up his sleeve about Optimus, and that he's not gonna make Optimus quite as game changing as he could if he doesn't get more stock in the company, which I think is very fair. So let's give him that stock. And then he says this little tidbit, which he says, we can always buy back shares if we have insane positive cash flow. This is something that Whole Mars and I were jamming on Twitter a while ago, which is like, look, if they're not giving Elon Musk more shares, he has his fixed number of shares. Tesla can just use their cash to reduce their share count. Elon Musk ownership goes up in the company. That would be good for all shareholders too. So that's just been a crazy out there theory. But to hear Elon on the conference call say, we can do buyback shares if we start generating a ton of cash flow, very good stuff there. More details on the 10% layoff. They basically say that, and Elon Musk is on this whole analogy of like even human cells when they're growing need to like grow and go through phases. So basically, the layoffs, you need to reorganize the company every 5 years. And so that's what they're doing. Run-of-the-mill stuff, trimming the fat. I actually love that Tesla does that. I know it can be tough, but the harsh reality is you got to make big cuts. You got to overfire. The company grows and gets bloated. You got to trim it back. It's like when you have a big bush outside your house. It's like when you have anything. You prune plants. You prune companies. This is just the way of nature, and so that's what it is. Licensing opportunity for FSD. This is happening. Elon Musk has 1, maybe even 2 opportunities this year to license 2 OEMs. Might license FSD this year. 2 deals announced, but once they announce a deal, it'll take 3 years to get it in the car. And I think it's interesting that he's basically like, look, all you need are cameras, the computer, and then we give you the software, and then your car can be self-driving. Not that crazy meaningful design changes. So I think, as I was saying earlier, this could be a free multi-billion-dollar free cash flow stream for Tesla that comes overnight, or just gets announced overnight. It'll take time to play out, but that is a huge bullish catalyst that is cooking and simmering here, that is driving to the Tesla stock price looking so strong after hours. Then on FSD and new markets, this was very interesting, basically saying that they've designed it to work anywhere, just like a human. It works kind of like on your eyes. So in new regulatory, they can get regulatory, basically anywhere they can get regulatory approval, they will be able to release it very easily without any modification. And they think that may include China. That is huge. China's an authoritarian government. If they want to approve FSD, they'll just go, bam, approve self-driving. And then that'll be, Tesla's already in with the government. First wholly owned factory by a foreign company. Tesla's going to work with them to have full self-driving in China. That could be a huge idea that nobody's pricing in that now is on the table as well. So the last piece of news here, Martin Viecha, an OG, gotta love Martin. been with the company forever. He gave me a tour of Tesla back in 2018, and it was the first tour that any non-institutional investor had gotten that was private from investor relations. He let me make a live stream video right after that, which I posted on HyperChange, trying to basically tell you about the factory tour, bring you along because I was allowed to film in it. So Martin was a huge reason the Say deal got done, and why there's a democratic process for asking Elon and the shareholders questions. Martin was the reason a lot of this whole movement started. And he's been super friendly to me, to Rob, to so many other Tesla content creators, while balancing dealing with the institutions. So definitely a little bit at the end of an era there. Big fan of Martin. Big shout out to him. And I hope, you can't blame him. 7 years of Tesla. It's a grind. But anyway, that sums it up. Q1, man. Okay, where are my thoughts at on this to end it? Let me take a little sip and scheme here. Take a sip as well. Join me. Profits. Tesla once again shows that it's leaner, it's more nimble, it's a lot more profitable than traditional auto companies. They've shown the ability, or are showing the ability, to grow the energy and services business, to diversify from those cyclical automotive profits. At the same time, more FSD revenues being recognized as their software quality improves. You have this tour de force where Tesla's been in a massive sprint to basically $100 billion in revenue. Tesla's been in this insane sprint into $100 billion in revenue. The last 12 months, $95 billion in revenue, massive sprint. And basically what I think is going to happen is they're going to flatline for a year or so and calibrate, and basically be like, Tesla's going to grow into its shoes as a $100 billion company. So why did I buy more stock after hours? Why am I more bullish than ever? Why am I hyped to make content and making content so I can make money from this video so I can buy more shares of Tesla stock on the low? Because I feel like this is Tesla's revenues chilling at $100 billion, but it is going to get straight to catapult on a $200 billion, and it's going to get there quick. We have this perfect storm of new products coming: the Robotaxi, the cheaper Cybercab, this Tesla's ride-sharing app, the biggest change in their business model since they've just been selling cars directly. Now they're actually going to launch this ride-sharing app, which could disrupt Uber, $150 billion business. We know how big the Robotaxi potential is. That is here. That is happening. The flywheel of FSD. Go listen to the podcast with Bill Gurley's new podcast explaining about the technology behind FSD, why Tesla will win, why they'll beat Waymo, why their cost edge on manufacturing is a game changer there. Tesla, the Robotaxi moment is closer than ever, just as people seem to be giving up faith in the company. I mean, this difference in reality of the stock going down, but all of Tesla's technologies that in the long run as a shareholder, I am betting on improving, is that difference growing bigger than ever, is why I'm jumping in the stock. Elon Musk himself saying you need to try FSD 12. If you're buying Tesla stock, you need to drive FSD because that is the future of the company. That's what they're betting on. This is a multi-trillion-dollar thing if they solve it. You've got Cybertruck. Katy Perry's just tweeting her Cybertruck. I mean, the Cybertruck is the hottest girl at the party. This is the dopest product the automotive industry has seen in 100 years, in 50 years. It is so iconic. They're ramping that. The semi-truck is still going to come online. That's going to happen. Optimus making moves in the factory by the end of the year. The cheaper Model 3 that's out now and better than ever is just getting off the ground. That's like a $100,000 car. They're selling for $39,000. All these cost improvements in a cheaper car, late 2024, early 2025. Energy business taking off with another Megapack factory in China now coming online. I mean, you have so much cooking for Tesla, so much good news. $26 billion in cash, not even the tiniest risk of them going bankrupt. They're going to have plenty of time to pull this off. Elon Musk appears more fired up than ever, more calculated, more dialed in, more motivated to take Tesla to this next leg of growth. I think the chances of Tesla becoming the world's largest company are increasing by the day, despite the stock price going down. I am more pumped than ever. You know me, I've been holding Tesla stock for 13 years now. I am still just going to sit here. Actually, 12 years. 2012 is when I bought. So just about 12 or 13 years owning Tesla stock. I bought a shitload of in 2017 and 2018, which is buying with every dollar from my YouTube channel. So shout out to y'all for watching and supporting on Patreon. And now for the first time in years, I'm aggressively buying Tesla stock. I still have my huge position, but now I'm actually actively adding to Tesla stock. So that shows you where my conviction is. Once again, never financial advice on this show. I'm just telling you what I'm scheming, what I'm doing. But I'm more excited than ever, and I think I want to end it on this idea that it's insane what Tesla's accomplished and what Elon Musk has done. But if what they're saying, and even just a fraction of what they're saying, comes true, we have not even scratched the surface on the changes that this company is going to make to change the world, and then the shareholder value that that's going to create. Tesla's looking like a cute joke right now compared to what it's going to be in 10 years if all this comes to fruition. I just pray to God that we get Elon for another decade running the ship with as much focus as he has now, because if he does, we are going to be in really good shape. So my take is, let's do everything we can to get Elon more control of the company. He's who we're betting on. He's who's leading this ship going a million miles an hour. They are hungrier than ever, despite being $500 billion company with 100,000 employees. They're still betting it all at FSD. That's how you get the crazy returns. That's how you become the world's biggest company. This is better than any show on Netflix, is watching Tesla unfold. And would love to know what y'all think in the comments below. But you know me, I'm fired up. I was ready for a bloodbath of a quarter, a depressing conference call. Nah, Tesla brought the heat. Elon is ready. They are dialed. Things are looking good. Very fired up and stoked to hear what y'all think. I know you have some. And the Cybercab, Tesla's coming out with the Robotaxi. It's called the Cybercab, and it might come out before the end of this year. Like, that's got to sink in. And you know Optimus is going to come out with a new video in a few months that looks insane. So I'm fired up. I hope the stock doesn't rip too much so I have more time to buy more. That is what it is. See y'all next time. Peace.